Inbound season is upon us, everybody, so get ready because Inbound 2025 will bring together, once again, the brightest minds in marketing, sales, and AI to explore what's now and what's next. The event is taking place September 3rd to 5th at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, and this three-day experience features inspiring keynotes, tactical breakout sessions, exclusive product reveals, and immersive workshops. You can network with industry leaders and gain actionable insights to implement immediately for your company. The speakers we got on the docket are great this year. We got Amy Poehler, Marquez Brownlee, Sean Evans, Glennon Doyle, and many others. You're not going to want to miss it. You can go to inbound.com/register to secure your spot at Inbound 2025. Good morning, everybody. Today's Tuesday, July 1st. I'm John Weigell with Juliet, Bennett, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. With everyone on the tech and AI wave, Starbucks is taking a bit of a different approach. The coffee company that we all know is not replacing people with tech and is holding that idea strong. So how is Starbucks investing more in its people? Let's dive deeper today. We'll chat about that right now. All right, so we're talking Starbucks today and its new non-tech focused strategy, surprisingly. So Juliet, what is Starbucks up to?
Starbucks is just really going full steam ahead on this "we're the old Starbucks now." And this is something we've talked about before. I think we've not necessarily done a deep dive into Starbucks, but I think in the snippets in the newsletter, we've talked about some changes they're making, where for a while, I think Starbucks was really on board this, we're a mobile ordering, super fast, whatever you want, come and get it, and then get out.
Yes. With pickups. Oh, yeah.
And I feel like there is a breaking point. When I was in college, you could go to a Starbucks, order a drip coffee, and sit down for an hour and do your homework and leave while listening to very inoffensive acoustic guitar covers of other songs. Maybe you'd meet someone, maybe you wouldn't, maybe, I don't know. But it was cozy. And then I would say post-pandemic, every time I went to a Starbucks, it was waiting in line for a really long time because the person in front of me had ordered a 16 syrup TikTok invention. You needed the code for the bathroom. I don't know. It just kind of sucked.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person that goes to Starbucks a lot, but usually when you're traveling, you wind up at a Starbucks. And so I think most people have noticed or did notice this vibe shift.
Yes.
And now they're going back.
Right.
We've got this new CEO, and he's all about cozy times.
Right. They have got a new CEO, Brian Nicol, and he's all about getting them back to the way they were. And that's kind of point blank. Like Starbucks, as you mentioned, now has this kind of almost coffee factory look instead of a cozy cafe type of look. And they want to kind of be that community hub again. And of course, you can't be that community hub if your business is run on AI and robotics. So it seems 100%. Like, to your point, they're moving away from AI, robotics, all that stuff, while fast food is kind of doubling down on AI and robotics. Starbucks seems to be backing up a little bit to a place that's a little more human.
Yeah, and it's what's interesting to me about this is we've seen these changes happening, little tiny changes. It's like, okay, all of a sudden, we've decided that our employees are going to write little doodles and messages to you on your cups again. And we're bringing back the ceramic mugs just in case you want to hang out for a little bit. Yeah. And they recently did a dress code shift where used to be they could wear whatever they wanted under their green aprons. And now they're like, no, we want you to wear dark, neutral colors so the green apron stands out. So people are like, oh, that's a person that works at Starbucks. That's the human that I see every morning. But what is interesting to me is that Nicol just kind of came out and said, yeah, all of this automation and, reducing headcounts, that didn't work out for us. It's a mistake. We actually need more people. We're going to hire more human baristas, which is kind of the opposite of what a lot of other fast food company and fast casual chains are doing right now.
Yes.
They want to cut the costs, get the robot in, make people order at kiosks. And I think we're simultaneously seeing, yes, that can be speedier. Yes, that does sometimes work, but we're also seeing a lot of customer frustration. If you read reviews of kiosks and Taco Bell's, McDonald's, people are complaining that they don't work, that they're glitchy. Same with the AI robots that are taking orders in Wendy's drive-thrus. People are always complaining about them.
Yeah, and it seems like they wanted to avoid that whole complaint cycle here. But they wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for a good business reason, right? They wouldn't just come out here and say, oh, no more AI, no more robotics, if it was going to completely revolutionize and make them a lot more money. So why are they going to a more human standpoint? Is that, you think, going to bring in the big bucks for Starbucks?
Well, what's interesting is that there's not a lot of numbers here, except that we know that Starbucks is struggling with slipping sales and has been. In terms of testing and piloting new things, they did around the time that Brian Nichols came on, which was summer-ish of 2024. They were trying a couple new things. They launched this affordable pairings menu. It was like get a coffee and a Danish or whatever. And then they have this thing called the Siren Craft System, which is a lot of operational and tech updates designed to shave literally seconds off of making a drink. And that's something we have talked about before.
Right.
But at the same time, they're also testing increased labor, so more baristas, more staff. And that apparently has worked out because it has since expanded to 3,000 stores. We don't have the numbers on that, but a few things I was able to find out. Starbucks is pausing the deployment of the Siren Craft system. They've tested in UK stores freshly baked offerings as opposed to just, stuff in plastic wrap that people seem to like. But the thing I found the most interesting is that Quick Service Restaurant Magazine, which of course seems to be the expert on these things, obviously, found that most of Starbucks online complaints that were overwhelmingly negative could be traced to mobile ordering. And this was people in its cafes who were frustrated with them being out of stuff because people were using, as I said, the 16 syrup TikTok inventions, that they had to wait longer for people who had these big, complicated pickup drive-through orders, and that the staff was frustrated, and that reflected on the service they received when they were waiting in line for something far simpler. It reminds me of being a bartender and someone coming up and being like, can I get 9 of these really complicated shots?
Yeah. Oh my God.
The Jamaican 10 speed.
Can I get 9 espresso martinis?
Right. And then it's always like, just one more, actually. Just my friend just got here. Can I just get one more, even though you already made them in the cup?
God.
And then the guy behind you is like, I just want a Bud Light.
Please, just not even draft, just a can. That's all
exactly.
I need.
So it's like, I feel that, I get that. And so it's like, yeah, all of a sudden Starbucks is irritating. You don't want to go there. It's supposed to be this place. You go, you get a quick coffee, you leave. But does it matter if you have all of this tech to shave 3 seconds off of how long it takes when you've got this mobile ordering system? And that's what's really gumming things up. So that is kind of an interesting nugget there. And, this guy really might be onto something. I've never used a Starbucks app because it doesn't work for me half the time, So if you've got people frustrated with the tech and they're like, oh my God, I just want to go in and get a latte from a person. Why can't I do that?
Let them.
Or I just want to get a cup of coffee, meet my friend and hang out for an hour before my flight leaves. Like, that's what Starbucks is for,
Right.
I just want to have study group for 2 hours. That's what Starbucks is for. And he might really be onto something.
Yeah. No, I definitely equate this a lot to what's happening in some other areas and industries, like with, for example, Barnes & Noble. With Barnes & Noble transformed into this pretty corporate bookstore type of situation and left behind their cozy nature. And now, in the past year or two, they've reverted completely to welcoming people in, letting you stay, letting you read the book that you're going to buy, having cafes. And they've kind of brought back this small town sort of feeling, even though it's a big corporation that owns it. So very similarly, I think people are looking for more of a place that they can sit down and hang out at rather than just an in-and-out coffee spot, it seems. So yeah, all for this change. I think it's pretty smart, honestly, considering how other businesses are kind of gung-ho on AI and tech, and they're just kind of like, yeah, we got more people. We got people. They'll make you a coffee. It'll be nice. They'll say hello.
I'm really curious to see how it pans out because I do feel like post-pandemic, if you go to a bookstore and it's just irritating and their inventory is low and there's no one to help you find them, you're going to buy it on Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You may not want to buy it on Amazon, but I have bought books on Amazon because I have gone into bookstores that are short-staffed. No one can find what I'm looking for. I've got to get this one book. And I'm like, well, screw it. I'll buy it on Amazon. Do I want to do that?
Yeah.
No. And same with coffee houses. I think a lot of people learned how to make fancy coffee during the pandemic. And if it's not a pleasant experience, they will make it at home. So I'm curious to see how it goes. And by the way, Chipotle recently revealed its new strategy is asking employees to smile. So I don't know. I guess we want people.
Well, Brian Nicole is the former CEO of Chipotle, so maybe something trickled down over there for them too, perhaps.
Yeah, that's also very interesting, this roulette of CEOs.
Yeah.
And I think he also came from Taco Bell before that. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's been on a tear. right, and that'll do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go get yourself signed up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at The Hustle Daily. We will see you later. Okay, look, side hustles fail when they consume all of your time. I mean, every single bit of it. The pros, though, work smarter with AI doing all the heavy lifting. To help you out, we just dropped the Side Hustle Accelerator database. You can search your exact problem for your side hustle, grab the perfect prompt, and get results. If you're struggling with marketing, content, and customer service, it's all solved in just seconds. This isn't just another tool, guys. It's your unfair advantage in a spreadsheet. So stop asking AI the wrong questions and start scaling with what actually works. You can get it for free in the link in our show notes. And you can stop right now, actually. Why don't you take a look down at those show notes and tap the link? You don't want to sleep on this.